Women say they want providers, right? Right. So when a man goes to build a society so that he can earn something, so that he can take care of his family, that's what I'm talking about. When men built the society so that women could flourish, because that is the system that a man developed to take care of his family. Now, what we have here is women have the capacity to go earn their own money. They can go work their own jobs. They can do whatever it is that they feel they need to do for themselves, right? And that itself, in and of itself, was a societal decision because men decided that, okay, although I'm responsible for protecting and providing for my family, my wife wants the capacity to go out and earn her money too. Or the women in my life want to go and be the best of themselves. That was a decision that the society generally, through the voting process, is what I'm talking about. Through the voting process,
Mhm.
decided that women should have that capacity to do it. So, what I find ironic is that although that right was given, women are still looking for providers. Why look for a provider or men to be able to provide and protect? Why do women want those qualities in men that they marry or that they have relationships with if men were so evil? Why do they want these provisions from men?
So
Because if
I will answer that, but let me get some clarity from you first.
Mhm.
So I kind of get where you're coming from, but I think that I'm caught up on men going out and getting and building this society or this situation so that their women can flourish. When have black women flourished? Because if we were always working, if we were not stay-at-home moms, and by and large, when did black men go out and build this society and get all of these resources so that black women could flourish?
So if I can jump in real quick. All right. So if you think of everything at its base level, like this is what he means by when he says men built the society for women to flourish. To his point, when he says you go out there, you do what you got to do to take care of the women and children that are underneath you. If you think about basic human activity, wife says wife doesn't like being rained on. Man builds a hut over her head. She says she's cold. He'll sit there and blow on her and be like, "Are you okay now?" I wave a fan. We build things to make the women around us, the women and the children around us, comfortable. So I'm assuming when he says flourish, he doesn't necessarily mean you go out there and you can do the same thing I can do. So if I'm me going out there slinging a hammer, slinging a sledgehammer, and working and making $80 an hour, I'm not saying in society you're flourishing in the way of you can go out there and sling the same sledgehammer and make the same $80 an hour I'm making. What he's saying is we did things to make y'all comfortable in
Okay.
society. And what has happened is every time women have came up and said, we're uncomfortable with something, men did something about it. For example, when they said, we're not comfortable being in the house all day, every day, and not, you know what I mean, and you get to make all the money. And men came together and said, should we gonna let them vote and go out there and make their own money? And said collectively, sure. Go out there and make their own money. Like
Okay.
it's a like when we work and acquiesce to one another as society goes on. Women ask for certain things, then we sit there and congregate and be like, all right, we gonna give it to them? Sure. That's what we mean by when we built society to like because we don't only just protect y'all from other men. We protect y'all from natural disasters. We protect y'all from the rain. We protect y'all from animals. We protect y'all from diseases. And now we're coming to a point where we're all collectively coming in and adding our thing in a pot because women have made their contributions to modern medicine as well. So that's what we're like. That's what he means when he says men built a society to make women. We built a society to make our whole entire species flourish.
So
Because
I
if
could
our
say
women
that.
ain't comfortable,
Oh my
we ain't
bad.
comfortable.
I thought she was done.
So
So the only thing I wanted to say real quick is that even if we were going to say black men in particular, as far as building this country, even if it was by force, black men have absolutely spearheaded that to front lines on all these wars when it was time to fight and protect your freedoms. Forced to build railroads, infrastructure, countless infrastructure. Black men have did it, and if black women are not flourishing, then when were they? Right now, black women are most black women will make this argument that they're the most enrolled, the most educated, making more money, even though they're not making more money. They're still making way more money, and I would say you at least have the opportunity to flourish if you so choose. So black women are absolutely flourishing. You have the convenience and you live in a posh society where you can actually get through life without the direct presence of a man. I would consider that absolutely to be flourishing.
It's usually the words that men choose to use. I've learned that I have to just ask for clarification from you guys, because when you speak, you use words that just it does not compute. Flourish was not, it didn't work to bring the point to me, because that confused me a lot. But let me answer your question though. The reason why women still look for providers is because men cannot let go of the word provider and submission and protection. You all do that. You all lead with money. This is not something that we are doing. When I tell you, I have never used the word provider so much in my entire life. I have never referred to a man as a provider. Never, ever. It was not a part of my vocabulary when I'm talking about a man. This is new to me because of social media. I saw a man as a man. I saw a man as a person. The dehumanization of that word, provider, the dehumanization of the word submit, like I'm a child or a slave or a horse. Like I'm just it's the words. I don't.
They're verbs, bro.
So I have never heard a man be referred to as a provider, as if you're your wallet. So if I'm being honest, women look for providers because, one, we are told that we need to look for a man that can take care of us. We are told by men that we need to allow them to take care of us. So if you don't want to be a provider, if you want us to be independent, because it's like men complain about being providers or women looking for providers, and then they don't want us to be independent. I'm not sure what part of the fence y'all want to be on. Do you not want an independent woman and you want us to look for a provider? Or I genuinely am confused about this, but it's the words for me. I need the intention. Like that's why I have to ask clarifying questions now, instead of just assuming that you mean what I think you mean. So I know what y'all mean by submission now. I just don't particularly like the word. I know what you all mean by provider now. I just don't particularly agree with the word. That's all that is. It's really just the word for me.
So to answer your question, a few of them. One, so like this is how we get into like the circular thing, because I can make the argument that men are only saying that we have to be providers because women expect us to be. They demand it of us, and they don't necessarily have to use the word you are a provider. They find ways to disqualify us for money all the time without actually calling us providers or the lack thereof. They will say things like they'll pick for a certain income bracket, even though their income bracket is unrealistic. On their dating apps, they would pick on certain things based on aesthetics and not based on a man's character. We would have conversations with women all the time, and they would say, "Oh, I just can't date a man that makes less than XYZ amount. It's just my preference." They would say a number of things that would allude to the fact that they're looking for a man to earn a certain amount of money so he can provide for it.
So, Bo, those points are valid, right? And
I remember.
In all honesty, lost your turn. In all honesty, men aren't particularly in love with some of those words too, like the provider. Just like women feel like they are sexually objectified, men are objectified by their finances, fetishized by their height, and a whole lot of different things that we see to be unfair too and marginalized, right? Like crazy for again, like Sweeney says, superficial reasons. So I think that if we were going to try to nutshell this, pause. The best thing for us to do to get some type of understanding, to me, would be like, all right, how can we meet in the middle somewhere, right? Can you at least understand what it is that I'm looking for? Can you? I think that it would be extremely helpful if both men and women were to look at what it is that's actually available, like what kind of men actually exist. You could write all the things down that you're looking for, but then you have to say, okay, what is it that I actually offer the opposite sex? I think that men do a better job at understanding what at least women are asking for objectively, right? We can try to at least reach these metrics. We know for the most part what type of finances we have is going to determine the type of women we have access to, right? We know we have to be well groomed. We know we got to smell good. We know we got to have some type of swag, and we develop ourselves for women, to be frank. Do women make that same effort for men outside of sexually objectifying themselves? Not necessarily. Do women constantly say, you know what, men like women with great figures? Do they get in shape? Men like women who are spiritually sound. Do they work on that? Right? Are you putting the right things in your body? Are you educating yourself? And not for the purpose of you obtaining a job, but to learn about what it is that men want. So I don't think that's happening. I don't think that women are making nearly as many concessions as men. And we can't deny the fact that men absolutely need work, but the goalpost is constantly moving when it comes to women. As far as men, what they've expected, what they've always expected, is what we've continued to expect. Women have a problem with us expecting what we've always expected, which would be consistency, which was what women asked for. But now that consistency would be called archaic. Now, men are expecting the same thing, but women are saying we want more, more, more. Now you got to make this much. Now you need to be this tall. Now you need to be charismatic and funny, and you need to bond with me spiritually, and you need to be you need to get that 60,000 at Amazon instead of 48,000. Like, it's so many different things that we have to do in order to be able to qualify for a woman. We're finding great difficulty, and to some, that could be very frustrating. So that's why you might see the rage and the frustration from men. And it's not excusable, but this is why you might see some of these things happen, right? When women typically ask for things and then respond to others. I'm very familiar with what's going on in today's current dating game, including with the young people, which is our future, people in their 20s, low 30s, all that stuff. And that's where the danger lies, because they are going to be the ones raising new children and everything else. And
Bro, that
and
ain't even
how that's
happening.
going to happen, what that's going to look like is scary, right? So and they can't get along at all right
Bro, if
now.
they
And
not
that's
even
who I think we
having
need
them.
to be. Right. Understood. People are choosing themselves instead. So that's why we have a serious decline with birth rate, right? And that's globally now. This, I mean, well, the motherland is still doing pretty well, but outside of that, it's looking crazy.
If I could just say though, um, a bit of advice, although men probably don't want this advice. What I will say is, if in fact you want, um, I can't do nothing about women changing every 5 minutes what they want. Get you a woman who knows who she is and knows what she wants. But what I will say is, if in fact you want to be seen as something different, you're probably going to have to present yourself as something different. It is my opinion that men contribute and they perpetuate their own abuse, because not all men, But there are men who lead with money, who lead with, let me do this for you, who lead with all of those things. And so if you want to be seen as something other than money, if you don't want a woman that is chasing after a bag or a man to take care of her, don't lead with it. Because if you dehumanize yourself, if you make yourself this provider and protector, you're dehumanizing yourself, and she is not going to see you as a human with real feelings that she has to consider. If a man comes to me completely stoic and he never shows me any vulnerability, I'm going to treat him as such. I'm probably going to mistreat him because you're not even showing me that you even have feelings. So if you don't do that, if you don't show that for us, then we're probably going to treat you like a workhorse and a wallet. So that's
Bingo.
just my opinion.
That's the manipulation I was talking about.
I'm
Wow.
manipulating?
I'm saying that's
My
manipulation.
How?
That's manipulation. I'm not
How?
judging you. I'm not judging you. I'm just pointing out
But how?
that the same, and this is what I said, it's a human problem. People really just need to, it's a negotiation. Men and women have to find what they're looking for and negotiate the terms and conditions of their arrangement. It's as simple as that.
Mhm.
Because not all men are looking for the same thing, and not all women are looking for the same thing. But for you to say that if a man presents himself a certain way, you're going to exploit the way he positioned himself. You didn't say, I'm going to, hold on. I'm just saying, you didn't say, I'm going to find out if he's stoic. I'm going to find out what's really beneath the surface. Why is he like this? You didn't say, I'm going to get to know this man on a deeper level or a spiritual level. You immediately said, I'm going to treat you like a workhorse, meaning you're going to manipulate and exploit the opportunity based on what he presents himself to be. So that's what men do as well. If a woman leads with sex, if she shows her body, if she presents herself a certain way, then men will take her as she presented herself. So all I'm saying is that at the base root of what you're saying, because not everybody wants the same thing. You got some men out there that say they don't want to be a provider. They don't want to do that. Okay, and you got some women saying that that's what they want. Some women saying that's not what they want. Not everybody's looking for the same thing. So we can't speak from an individual level of what we want and expect, and then cast that and project that to everybody. Everybody's looking for different things, and that's why really it comes down to the negotiation, understanding who you're dealing with. What are you looking for? What is this person looking for? And you negotiate from there. That's the only sound, logical way to do it. You can't make blanket statements and blanket terms that says, okay, this is what all women want, or this is what all men want, because everybody's looking for something different.